One click, that's all it took. Single tap of the send button that cost a thriving company $2 million. This isn't a made-up scary story. It's a modern business horror story. It's about how one email, just a handful of words, can bring a successful business to its knees. This wasn't just another account. It was the account. The one that gave them the stability to grow. The relationship seemed solid, and the contract was up for its routine. Renewal a deal worth $2 million. For everyone at Innovate Corp, this was supposed to be a slam dunk. So, how does this happen? And more importantly, how do you make sure it never happens to you? To feel the gut punch of the fall, you have to see how high they'd climbed. We'll call the company Innovate Corporation. Picture a successful mid-sized tech firm with big-name clients. They had spent years building a rock-solid reputation for being reliable and innovative. Their crown jewel was a long-term relationship with a massive client. But under the surface, things were tense. The client had become more demanding, with constant requests and tighter deadlines. The Innovate Corporation team was feeling the heat, totally on the brink of burnout, and they didn't even realize it. The disaster didn't start with a server crash or a botched product launch. It was something far more human. It all started with another email from the client, listing last-minute, demanding requests. The frustration inside Innovate Corporation was boiling over. The team leader, let's call her Sarah, wanted to rally her exhausted troops. She quickly drafted an internal email meant only for her team. It said something like, "All right, team. The Wicked Witch of the West is back on her broomstick. Who wants to take this one?" It was a careless, unprofessional shot, typed in a moment of stress. But in a heart-stopping blunder, Sarah forgot to remove the client's name from the email chain before hitting send. For a minute, there was just silence. Then, a frantic, sickening scramble to recall the message. But it was too late. The email had landed. It had been opened and read by the very client they were mocking. You can just picture the cold, sickening panic at Innovate Corporation. They quickly sent out an apology, saying the employee was fired for their totally unprofessional behavior. But the damage was done. The client, who was already feeling like just a source of cash, now had proof they were actually despised. The trust that took years to build vanished in a second. The client's response was fast and brutal. They were already on the fence about renewing, and this email made the decision for them. They announced they were pulling the plug. The $2 million contract was gone, just like that. All because of one single, catastrophically bad email? Sure, it's tempting to point fingers at Sarah for that one email. But honestly, it's just a sign of a bigger issue: messy communication in our digital world. It was a messy mix of not having professional discipline and really not getting how permanent digital messages can be. And don't think this was a freak accident. Badly worded emails and vague instructions are constantly chipping away at trust and pushing clients away. In a world where so much business is done through a screen, your emails are your reputation. A misplaced joke isn't the only thing that can cost you big time. Just ask Rogers Communications, which got into a legal mess over a single comma in a contract. That tiny piece of punctuation determined whether a contract could be ended early, putting an estimated $2 million on the line. The initial ruling went against Rogers, but it was later reversed because the French-language version of the contract was clearer. Still, it's a terrifying reminder that one tiny punctuation mark can have multi-million-dollar consequences. Then there's business email compromise, or BEC. This is where criminals use pure deception to trick you. According to the FBI, BEC scams led to nearly $2.8 billion in reported losses in 2024 alone. These aren't complicated hacks. They're clever social engineering attacks. Scammers impersonate a CEO or vendor and send an email that sounds urgent, asking for a wire transfer. They are banking on our trust and our habit of moving fast. One company almost lost millions this way. It was saved only because a sharp-eyed customer decided to pick up the phone and double-check before sending the money. For an Innovate Corporation, the fallout was a nightmare. Losing their biggest client sent shockwaves through the company, leading to budget cuts, more layoffs, and a damaged reputation. So, what can we learn from these disasters? How do you stop one click from becoming your company's obituary? First, the golden rule of email. Never write anything in an email that you wouldn't be comfortable seeing on a billboard. Treat every business email like a public document, because in the age of screenshots and forwarding, it is. Second, proofread like your job depends on it, because it might. Check your grammar, check your spelling, and always check your recipients before you hit send. Third, get a grip on cybersecurity basics. The billion-dollar Beck industry thrives because people are lazy with the simple stuff. Use strong, unique passwords. Turn on multi-factor authentication. Train your staff to be suspicious of any email asking for money, especially if it sounds urgent. And finally, know when to log off. Email is a great tool, but it's a terrible way to have sensitive or emotional conversations. If a topic is getting heated or complex, stop typing. Pick up the phone. 5-minute chat can prevent a multi-million-dollar misunderstanding. These stories are cautionary tales, but they're also powerful lessons. If you want to go deeper into more stories of business wins and failures, to see what else you can learn, make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell. The story of the $2 million email isn't just about one company's mistake. It's a mirror reflecting the high-stakes, high-speed world we all operate in. Communication is the lifeblood of any business. When it's clear, professional, and secure, it builds empires. But when it's sloppy, emotional, or compromised, it can cause catastrophic damage with terrifying speed. The most dangerous button in any business isn't delete, it's send. Think before you click.